Hi, it's Lucy and I'm back with more Magnificent Roots, a celebration of everything purpose in life, in work and society. And today's topic is, what do purpose leaders need right now? And by purpose leaders, by the way, I don't mean just if you've got purpose in your job title, but I mean everyone who's really trying to embrace this idea of creating broader value through their business. And that might mean you're in all sorts of positions, could be strategy, could be HR, could be whatever position you are in the organisation. What do purpose leaders need right now? I think that we've got to admit, we've got to name the elephant in the room. It's a difficult time, it's a challenging time to be talking about purpose. The big picture, the macroeconomic picture is really, really challenging. And there's been some difficulties in terms of convincing stakeholders perhaps that purpose should be the number one thing on the priority. But we all know how important it is, and actually maybe in these challenging times, it's most important that we're really thinking about broader value creation. I spent some time recently connecting with some of my peers who do purpose work in all sorts of different types of organisations, and it got me thinking about what do purpose leaders need right now, and I think there's three big things. So I'm going to share them with you today, and I'd love to hear what you think. The first one is that I think purpose leaders really need a support network. And where these teams are sometimes really quite small within organisations, actually it can be really beneficial to have a support network outside of your own organisation, looking outwards and connecting in with other people that are trying to drive change within big or small organisations across different sectors. I've found that actually there's a lot to be said for making that type of connection and for sharing the types of similar problems that we all face and the barriers that we face for change and actually supporting each other. There's something very wholesome about coming together. One person that I met with this week described it as filling their cup, which is a real benefit to her of connecting with other leaders working in this space. So that's my first one. Purpose leaders need networks and a space for connection. The second one is purpose leaders, especially now, need big picture thinking. They need to really understand the trends and the macroeconomic context within which we are all operating at the moment. We also need to remind ourselves that things go in waves, don't they? The situation today is not necessarily the situation forever. Sometimes when you're in big corporate, it can be tempting to think short term, and we know there's all those pressures on corporates to think about the next quarter, the next week, the immediate actions that have got to be done today. But it's so important that we give ourselves this time and the space to think about big picture, because oftentimes when we're working on purpose and sustainability, really the impact that we're trying to drive is actually over the long term. So that's my number two, to have that big picture thinking. And then number three, really, really important, and we shouldn't underplay it, the need for self-care. So much I've talked to people recently and they're feeling really stressed and really under pressure, and it feels sometimes quite overwhelming to be trying to drive positive change through business in this current climate that feels, it's quite constrained by cost pressures, by the macro environment and so on. So do not forget to spend some time looking after yourself, and what's that going to look like? It's going to be different for each person. Maybe it's going to be yoga, maybe it's going to be exercise. For me, it looks like painting. I love painting. This is one of the paintings that I've been doing over this summer. I find it very relaxing, a real way to kind of switch off, a meditation form, if you will. And the other thing that really works for me is being out in nature myself. And somehow when I'm near trees or grass or running water, actually being near the beach or near a river, I find it incredibly calming and good for the soul as well. So let me know your tips too, and do look after yourselves and look after your teams, and I'll see you soon. Bye.